Hey guys, the Explorer of Horror here, the Horror Boy, and what began in October is finally coming to an end here in November. It's been a blast to do this. I've reviewed from Friday the 13th, the original, to Friday the 13th, the remake. Those were really fun to do, and I've reviewed from Halloween 1978 all the way to the new one. But this isn't the last review because I got 2 more years of Halloween movies coming. I got next year, which is Halloween Kills, and then the year after that, which is Halloween Ends, so technically speaking, we're not done yet. But for right now, this is the last review I'll be doing for this re-review stuff. And I did a much longer review on this movie, of course, talking about Halloween 2018. Found it on DVD for a good price, $5. I'm like, for $5, I can't pass that up. That's actually a pretty good price for a newer film. And it kind of makes me wonder. I'm like, this movie made so much money and it got so much hype, but yet it's on the $5 rack. I wonder what mystical, magical powers led to that. I know it led to that. It's people probably changing their minds about it. Look, I'm not. If you're a fan of this movie, that's fine. I'm not a big fan of it. I think at best it's a dumb, fun slasher film with some decent things in it. As a Halloween film, I think it has a lot of problems. But overall, I would say the movie's okay. The movie's alright. It's nothing special, nothing spectacular, but it is okay. And at least we're ending the franchise reviews on an okay movie. Not Rob Zombie's H2 pile of crap. We're ending it on at least an okay movie to me. It's kind of on the same level as, well, even though I'm not a fan of H2O, I would say I like this a little bit more than H2O because it has a little bit more going for it, but it's still got similar it's pretty much like H2O. My thoughts on this movie are very similar to H2O's, and the fact that I think it's a severely overrated film. Now, luckily, the film has died down. Like I said, $5 for this DVD. I know it's a DVD, but still, a DVD from 2018, it's a 2018 release. Most of the time, the 2018 releases are probably $10. But $5 in the bargain bin, it's like, that's really saying something to me when it's that low. And you know, in a way, I'm kind of glad that people are really rewatching this movie and kind of, calming down their opinions, because when this movie came out on IMDb, it got like a 7 or an 8. Now it's got a 6, like a 6.6 or a 6.5. It's got a pretty low rating compared to what it used to have. And I did an hour-long video when it first came out. I actually did the video, I think, a week or two after I seen the movie. Might have been the week after. But I seen the movie, I think, on the second day. Not opening day, but second day. I used to say I seen it on the opening day. I didn't see it on the opening day. I seen it on the second day. Which is pretty close. And believe it or not, it was still packed. It was still packed with people. And I was excited to go see it. I will say this, the theater experience of going and watch it was pretty cool. Seeing all the passionate Halloween fans there was pretty awesome and pretty neat, honestly. Made it a very fun atmosphere. People wearing a lot of Halloween 3 t-shirts, which, believe it or not, I seen that. People wearing Halloween 2 t-shirts, Halloween 4 t-shirts. I was wearing a classic Halloween tee from the first movie. The first movie's poster with the knife. But it was cool to see all of us Halloween fans get together and have a fun time and just go in there and watch a Halloween movie. And I was going into the movie very hyped for it. I had very high hopes for it. I was going into probably a little too high of hopes. So maybe a bit of it I can say is probably I overhyped it a little bit, but at the same time, you expect a certain thing from a Halloween movie. We all expected something from Halloween Resurrection. We all expected something from the Rob Zombie movies. We expected something from the Halloween 5. We expected something from the Halloween movies. And even though Halloween 3 has no Michael Myers in it, at least it's done well. It's done beautifully to me. It's a wonderful horror film with some great atmosphere to it, with a great score, with a great 80s vibe, with a great cast, with great leads. Cool idea, really dark concept of the movie. Just overall, I thought Halloween 3, even though it had no Michael Myers in it, still nailed most Halloween aspects better than most of the sequels did. The atmosphere, the music. But I think what it is that with this film, it's not a Rob Zombie movie. So most Halloween fans say it's better than, 2 and 4 and 3 and H2O. Like, this became quickly the true Halloween 2. And what really got under my skin about that, look, if you're a fan, that's fine. But really, I can't say. Look, if I disagree with that, because for me, this movie takes too much from the sequels to say, oh, well, this is the real Halloween 2. It borrows a lot from Halloween 2 and Halloween 4 and H2O. There's even some Halloween 3 Easter eggs in there. I think it's too similar to say that it's better than those movies, because really all I had to do was copy those movies. And this film right here, it has like an attitude towards those sequels, like, oh no, those sequels are garbage. We're the true sequel, which is kind of, I don't like that. I don't. It's not like Halloween H2O tried to say, oh, Halloween 4 and 5, they're thrown into the garbage. We're the real sequel. It was kind of just like, no, we're just going to follow Halloween 2, keep it basic, keep it simple. It wasn't like it was saying that. And plus, that actually kept the brother-sister angle, which is dropped in this film. And this is like a year later. If you haven't seen this movie still, spoiler alert. That's not even a spoiler, but because it's in the trailers. But spoiler alert, just in case nobody has seen this new movie. Spoiler alert for this review. This is going to be a spoiler review. But, yeah, and it's a tough movie to talk about, because technically I think it's okay, but it has a lot of problems. And it's going to seem like I'm ranting on it a little bit, but it does have issues that I will not ignore, that it's there, and I'm honest about every single movie I review, and hopefully these issues in this movie can be fixed in the sequels. That's the best thing about getting sequels. You can fix upon that stuff. But when I rewatch this movie again, my opinion really didn't change much. And the story, just to get into the story real quick, of course, this is a 40th anniversary film. Of course, 78 was Halloween. This is 2018. So this is H4O, pretty much. And it takes place after the first movie. There's no more Halloween 2 or 4 or H2O. None of it. It's all gone. Completely retcons the entire series, which we'll get to that in a second. But it's right after the first movie. It's, like I said, 40 years later. Michael Myers is in Smith's Grove still. They explain the ending of the first movie saying that they captured Michael Myers. Even though he disappeared, nobody knew where he was. Somehow, in some way, they found Michael Myers and recaptured him. I don't know how, but they did. And Michael Myers is in Smith Grove, and these podcasters go there, show him the mask, and kind of gets Michael Myers back into shape mode. And these podcasters, they interview Laurie Strode, who deals with PTSD, very differently than the one from Halloween 2 and the one from H2O. This Laurie Strode is a lot more... They handled her a lot more like she's crazy, and I don't really like that. I like in H2O where it's just her getting bothered by it, not her being kind of crazy. She's not totally, nuts, but her family kind of pushes her away, and nobody really likes her character, and she's accepting bribes from the podcasters, and it's a really weird way they treat Laurie. She drinks a lot, and when she drinks, apparently she's not a very kind person, and, she sheltered her daughter and taught her how to shoot guns and stuff. I don't like that. I really don't. I don't like how they treated Laurie in this movie. It's not as bad as, like, Rob Zombie's movies or Resurrection, but still, it's pretty bad. And, I mean, it's serviceable, I guess. It's not horrible. It's serviceable. It is what it is. It's okay, I guess. But it's just good to see Laurie Strode back in the Halloween series again. And Jamie Lee Curtis does a great job. And one night, Michael Myers is being transported. And, of course, we know from Halloween 4, it's happened a lot. Transport him. We're going to transport Michael Myers. And, of course, Michael Myers escapes. Actually kills a kid in this scene. And it's a very crazy scene. He kills the podcasters, gets the mask and the coveralls, and goes back to Haddonfield to kill Laurie Strode and her family. Now, the problem with that plot is that there is no more, and my friend John Grande's Graveyard, made a good point on this. And it was something that I realized, I was like, yeah, man, it really does make it pointless. Dude, if you're not going to have the bloodline thing, don't have it be a sequel to Halloween 1 and have Laurie Strode back. Because it doesn't make sense. Why would Michael Myers go back after her? Why? Because she survived? That doesn't make... Plus, Michael Myers goes after her daughters, too. Her family. Like a Bloodline movie. So I'm like, so why is Michael Myers going after her daughter and granddaughter and her if there's no more Bloodline? You might as well have given it a Bloodline plot. You might as well. Because you pretty much made it like a Bloodline movie. But you gotta put that dialogue in there that says, oh no, he's not her brother, that's just some myth that somebody made up. And I'm just like, really? And it just felt like this movie stops on Halloween 2 and Halloween 4, and I don't like that because I'm a huge fan of Halloween 2, you know? Big fan of it. It's my favorite of the sequels. I still stand by that. But maybe, who knows, maybe Halloween Kills and Ends would be great, but to me, Halloween 2 is the real, like, actual way you approach that with the Bloodline stuff that makes sense. This trying to be the next Halloween 2, it's just like, I don't like that. I'm sorry, I don't. And the teen characters are just forgettable. Why is Laurie's granddaughter so forgettable? I can't remember her name of her granddaughter, or her daughter, or her friends, or the granddaughter's boyfriend, or his friends, or her friends. I can't remember any of these characters. They're all generic. This movie has a very dull atmosphere to it that looks generic. Picture the most generic horror film atmosphere you can give a film. This is what's got it's got the most generic atmosphere. Camera work. There's only one scene in this movie or two scenes that felt Halloween to me. Two scenes. And neither one of them are that third act, which people want to say is great. I don't think it's great at all. I think it's overrated. That third act is just like, H2O was better. I didn't care about what was going on in this third act, but there's two scenes that I thought actually felt like a Halloween movie. One is a great shot, and I will give the movie this. It's one of my favorite shots in the entire series because of how it's done. It's all done in one shot. Michael Myers is walking, bumps into some trick-or-treaters. They go, sorry, man, and they walk off, and Michael Myers, the camera's behind him, and he walks, turns, goes and grabs a hammer, murders this chick with the hammer, goes next door, slits this girl's throat, goes next door, murders another person, and it's all done in one shot. The lighting, the camera work, it all seemed Halloween. Not only Halloween, it seemed very John Carpenter, and I liked that. The other scene is when this character, he is trying to flirt with this lead chick out of nowhere, which I'll get to, but he's trying to flirt with her. She gets, like, creeped out, says, that's not what she was trying to do. She leaves, and when she leaves, Michael Myers pops up. The lights turn out, turn back on, turn out, turn back on. Michael Myers is kind of going from place to place till he finally kills the guy. That was the only two scenes, man. Everything else just felt generic and not scary, not suspenseful, just kind of dragging. And they insert this humor, which sometimes I think works, but sometimes the jokes don't always land. Like, I'll be honest, some of the jokes I really don't mind. And I think people that utterly hate them, it's like Venom. It's like, they're jokes, they're in there, to me they're funny, and I wasn't the only one that laughed at them because the entire audience laughed when I was in the theater. The peanut butter joke, it was funny to me. I mean, it's cringy, but to me it was funny. It's like Venom. Sometimes it's cringy, but I thought it was funny. The brownie scene, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Certain comedic parts of the movie, the little kid is like, screw this, I'm out of here. Don't go in there, you're going to get killed. And then he's right, the guy that goes in there does get killed. I didn't mind the comedy. I don't understand what's wrong with comedy in movies anymore that gets bashed. Like Infinity War, people hate that comedy. I'm like, I liked it. Venom. People hate the comedy. People hate that movie because of the comedy and because of PG-13. I'm like, I liked it. I thought it was done well. And in this movie, it's like the comedy. Sometimes the comedy is cringy, but it made me laugh. Gave the movie at least some kind of humor, some kind of life. Because I feel like without that, it'd be a very boring movie. Because of the way that it looks, the way that it's shot, has a gray, just dull look to it, which looks nothing like a Halloween movie. Michael Myers in this movie is weird. Because he's cool in the fact that the mask in this movie is really solid. The mask, I think, is one of my favorite masks because it resembles the original mask very well. The Shatner mask. And it does. It resembles it very well. But, and there are certain things Michael Myers does that I like. Like where he has the teeth in his hand, reaches over, drops the teeth. I like that. Or the jack-o'-lantern head, where he carved the jack-o'-lantern into a guy's decapitated head. That was a cool thing. Where he stomps the guy's head and the wannabe Loomis guy stomps his head. And I like that. That was pretty good. He's brutal in the movie. He's very vicious. You know, he's ripping jaws out and ripping people's faces in pieces. So that was pretty cool. Although it makes a problem at the same time. Because really, would Michael Myers do all that? Would Michael Myers... This is the sequel to the first movie. Do you remember Michael Myers in the first movie ever ripping off a jaw? Or ripping people's faces apart? Or stomping people's heads in? I don't remember that in the first movie. I really don't. The first movie is more subtle. About suspense, about atmosphere, about using, you know, the shape to scare people, you know, to use it. And there are some deaths in the original movie, but there's nothing... I mean, probably the best one is probably where the guy gets, you know, hung on the wall. But, you know, it's just... It's a cool thing that he's doing that stuff because it makes him vicious. And he's very brutal in this movie, very dark. Kind of reminds me in the way that he moves of Dick Warlock, which... I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of that Michael Myers, but it's not horrible. It's just, he just kind of, he moves like Dick Warlock does. But, I don't know, man. I mean, and the music, too, people want to say the music's great. To me, the music just sounds generic. The theme song, the redos of the other songs. And there's a piece of music in this movie. It's when Michael Myers is chasing Laurie's granddaughter. I remember in the theater, I was sitting there and I heard that music play, and I was kind of like, this sounds like something that's in Halloween 3. Like a hidden track in Halloween 3. It's a good music piece, but it's like out of place. It sounds 80s, and it sounds synthy, and it doesn't fit the rest of the score. It Follows works. Maniac 2012 works because the whole score is synth. But in this movie, you have a typical... Nothing special, really. Just nothing really special to the score, but yet the score gets a lot of, you know, praise. I think it's just a generic score, honestly. But you have a regular score, and then you have like one piece of music which is synth in this movie, which that's that scene. And I'm like, is this a hidden track from Halloween 3? Is this, you know, an Alan Howarth track? Like, what is this? It sounded cool, but I'm like, this doesn't fit the movie at all. And that's the thing. It's trying to be... Here is the biggest problem with this movie to me. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Sometimes it tries to use suspense. Most time it fails. Sometimes it'll show a kill. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll do twists. Sometimes it'll reject the twists. Like having this Dr. Loomis ripoff go crazy, kill the sheriff character in this movie, put the Michael Myers mask on, and say, did he talk? What did he say? And then she's like, well, I'm not going to tell you what he said. And then Michael Myers kills him, stomps his head in, completely makes everything he was doing pointless. It's like, what the... That was the only movie that year that when I was sitting in the theater made me go, what the hell is that about? I literally said that out loud, like, what the hell is this? Like, this guy putting the Michael Myers mask on and being a Loomis ripoff. It's to the point to where Laurie Strode even admits, she says, oh, you're the new Loomis. I'm like, well, great. Even the characters notice this stuff, man. Like, it's not even just me noticing it anymore. It's the characters in the film. It was crazy to me. And yeah, Michael Myers, people say he's human in this movie. But I don't understand that. But to get back to what I was saying real quick before I get into that, the movie doesn't know what it wants to be. Sometimes it'll be gory. Sometimes it'll have humor. Then it'll go back to dull and dark. Then it'll be serious. Then it'll be, light and humorous. Then it'll go back dark and slow. And it'll say, oh, we're going to homage the sequels. Then we're going to say, oh, yep, the sequels, whatever. It's just like a movie that's all over the place. And the third act, I thought, was just overrated. I mean, what happens? Let's be honest. Laurie shoots Michael Myers. She becomes the predator. He becomes the prey. He knocks her off the balcony. She's the one that disappears, not Michael Myers. And, happy Halloween, Michael. And then they shoot Michael Myers, lock him in the basement, and he supposedly burns, even though we know it's not going to, because Halloween Kills is happening. Nothing happens in that third act. There's like maybe one good scene in that third act. It's probably when she's in the mannequin room and Michael Myers, you don't know where he's at, and he pops up and, goes after her. That's the only good scene. Everything else I didn't care for. No suspense, no dread, no drama. It's just, to me, just nothing. Nothing going on. No energy there. Just plain, And I don't know. I mean, as far as, like I said, direction goes, the movie doesn't really look very special, except for maybe a couple of shots here and there. I do like the opening credits, how it's done in the classic, black background, orange text, and the pumpkin kind of inflates. I love that. That was pretty cool. I love how they keep the formula kind of simplistic, but then they kind of make it not simplistic. It's like, I don't know. I just don't think it was very worthy to be what it was said to be. The true sequel made $70 million opening weekend. Probably made more than that because of DVD sales and stuff, and Blu-ray sales and rentals and stuff. And the critical praise it got. I think there's actually some quotes in the back. Yeah, another quote from the critics right there on the back. It got all that praise, made all that money, and now it's not really getting the praise and stuff, but we got 2 more sequels coming. And it's just now Halloween 2 and 4, well, H2O kind of the same thing, but now H2O, Resurrection don't exist, Halloween 2 and 4 don't exist. That whole gap between 2 and Resurrection is all gone. All gone, all pointless, all nothing. And I understand it's like, well, the timeline was already a mess. Yeah, but doing this didn't help. I mean, how many timelines do we got now? What, 5? 6 plot lines? I think. A little ridiculous to have it in this movie. I mean, you're going on the Chainsaw Massacre route where it's, every single film with its own sequel. It's like, oh my god, man. Look at the timeline, it's like, oh my god. But overall, I mean, it does have some good practical effects. The music isn't horrible. It's just nothing's too special. For a slasher film, I think it's okay. I think as a Halloween movie, though, it's with H2O. It's just very disappointing. Very disappointing to me. Very overrated to me. Even though it's died down, there are still people that love it to death. And if you do, that's fine. That's totally fine. I respect everybody's opinion on every single film. If you love this movie, that's totally fine. But I just don't. I don't know. I don't agree with it. I really don't. It's a movie to me that, first of all, was to be the last one, but then they lied to us, and nope, not the last one. It's like, oh, okay. There's a lot of problems with the Laurie character. Her daughter in this movie is such a... I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was the script. I don't know if it was the direction. I don't know what it was, but Laurie's daughter in this movie was horrible. Every line she delivered was awful. Was it Judy Greer? It might have been her. She really was awful. Whoever played the daughter character from Laurie is like awful. The line delivery, she is responsible for, what did she say? Not PTSD, but something that affected her. I'm like, what kind of a line delivery is that? Literally, this is her face in the whole movie. Oh, I gotta run now. Bye, guys. I'm gonna run now. I'm afraid. I don't think it was her fault, the actress per se, but the director should have been like, hey, let's go back and redo this again. Let's rewrite this script a little bit, make it a little bit more better. I don't know what it was. I'm not saying it was her fault. I'm just saying that what I saw was like, hey, Mom, you're drinking too much. This is what I'm talking about, Mom. You gotta get out of here. No emotion. At all. And the granddaughter is the same way. She runs with this mannequin, screams for no reason. It was shot of some mannequin faces. I don't know why. And that badass line from the daughter character. Gotcha. Just, I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way. The way this movie's kind of portrayal that stuff did. It just was like, man, didn't really care for the lines, didn't really care for the acting, and I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm just saying whatever it wasn't good. What I saw was like just plain acting, blank acting, like literally a blank slate acting. That's what it is. Just, oh, hey Grandma, how you doing? And I know people don't want to hear this, but every single guy character in this movie is either a dick, a dumbass, horrible character, asshole, like the boyfriend. He's hanging out with the parents, he's being nice and polite, he's being nice to the girl, and like that at this party, oh, I'm gonna go cheat on my girlfriend for no reason. Then, oh, I'm gonna take her phone and drop in some nacho cheese sauce for no reason. I'm like, why did he do that? He had no reason to do all of that. He had no reason to become an asshole like that. Just something that I noticed. And then the comedy relief guy, he's having fun, being the funny guy, and then like that, he's flirting with the lead chick. He's flirting with her. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Where'd this come from? Out of nowhere. And you have some dumbass characters. Literally, the only character in this movie that I thought wasn't like that was the sheriff guy, but he gets killed. It's like, and you do got some dumb stuff in this movie, like Michael Myers walking in just out in the street, out for everybody to see in the Michael Myers costume. So of course a car hits him because they see him. I'm like, Michael, what are you doing? Get in the shadows. What are you doing? You're the Shape. I'm just go walking down the street in a mask like that. Just, even though I'm responsible for deaths in this town, they're not gonna notice me. Even though I'm wearing the same exact costume, I'm not gonna get. Nope, he gets hit. What is that? That is bullcrap, man. That is bad. And the doctor stuff saying, oh, now I know how it feels, Michael, to kill. This is how it feels. Puts the mask on. I'm like, this is stupid. Get that stuff out of here. So there are things in the movie that I thought were just like, why, man? Why? And it does have some bad stuff in it. But overall, Halloween 2018 is an okay slasher, but a pretty weak Halloween film. But anyways, guys, let's not end it on a negative. Let's end it on a positive. I want to thank you guys so much for watching these reviews. I put a lot of time and effort to re-reviewing these franchises because I know the reviews in the past really weren't the greatest quality-wise. And I just wasn't really pleased with how I reviewed the movies. They just, to me, my opinions didn't seem very clear-minded. They didn't, the way I spoke, the way, just my old reviews compared to my new ones were pretty bad, but I'll leave those up for you guys to watch if you guys will check those out still. But I do want to say thank you guys so much for watching these reviews. It's been so fun. Been a blast. I love Friday the 13th. I love Halloween. They're two franchises that are near and dear to my heart. And it's been a lot of fun talking about them with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. The Explorer of Horror is out. I don't know what I'm going to do next. We'll have to see. I have a couple of things I've been working on. So hopefully I can get that stuff done. I'm going to take a little bit of a break just so I got done reviewing 12 then 11 movies. So yeah, I got done reviewing a lot of movies in these past 2 months. But it's been fun. And I wouldn't change it for a thing. It's been great. And I want to thank you all for watching. So anyways, guys, the mission from October, till here in November is finally completed. Reviewed the entire Jason and Michael Myers franchises, and they'll both be put in the playlist on my channel for you guys to check out. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. It's been a blast. Thanks for all the support. I made a film called Pain. It's a feature-length audio horror film, which I put on my channel. I might link it in the description below if I remember to. If I don't, then I'm sorry. But it's on my channel called Pain Chapter 1. Very deep emotional story, and spent a lot of time making it, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Hope you guys enjoy it. Just give it a watch or listen whenever you guys want to. It's definitely a pretty emotional horror story. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching my reviews. Thanks for watching my review on the 2018 film. And I guess I'll see you guys later. The Explorer of Horror is out. Bye, guys.